Welcome, everyone, to the Week 17 series of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gann, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you've not had the chance, go check out our website, justsayingfootball.com, and follow us on Instagram at justsayingwjs for article and video updates. Week 17 continues in late afternoon at 4:25 with 9 games going into the night. Let's just kick it right off. Jacksonville Jaguars heading to Indianapolis to face the Colts. The only win that the Jaguars have gotten this year came in week 1 against the Colts. But Jack, will that happen again? And what you got for us in this one?
Wow, I think the Colts take this one. I think they got the film on the last one, and it's been a long time since then. But the Jacksonville Jaguars have not got it together since that comeback win week 1. They have not won a game since then, despite some bright spots in their season. DJ Chark, James Robinson, a couple guys on this defense. Wow, tough season for them. They're looking right for that number 1 pick that they just locked up. I'm looking for my man Jonathan Taylor to get over 84 yards, to get 1,000 in his rookie season, and I think the Colts go get this win.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. They got an upsetting loss last week against the Steelers. They were this close to getting it done. Just fell short. I definitely think that Taylor gets to 1,000. No DJ Chark, one of the bright spots for the Jaguars this week. No James Robinson, one of the bright spots for the Jaguars this week. I just don't say this offense can put it up enough against the Forrest Buckner and the rest of this defense. And I don't see how the Jacksonville defense can possibly slow down what this offense is capable of. With the must-win game for the Colts, to make it to the playoffs. They know it's on the line here. They're going to get it done. Philip Rivers did not join this team to not take them to the playoffs, so he will take them this year. They're going to get the win.
Yeah, I know I mixed the Browns with the Colts up in the last episode, but the fact is the Colts here, Philip Rivers, you just mentioned, this could be, if they lose, his last game.
Yeah,
And
ever.
he said that. And you gotta feel for him with Eli Manning retiring last season. As a Giants fan, you feel this 2004 draft class is fading away. But I think that he stays alive another week. I think they go get it.
I think they get it too. Look, they're going to need a little bit of help, but with the Ravens loss or Browns loss or Dolphins loss or tie, but could possibly happen. They just got to get the win. That's all we're concerned about. They're going to get done. Moving on, LA Chargers facing the Chiefs, but the Chiefs will not be without some of their key starters, including a quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, no Tyreek Hill. Clyde Edwards-Helaire will not be starting, but that's because of injury related, not because they're sitting starters. So what you got for us in this one?
Man, no Patty Mahomes. This is a tough one. Every week we say, "Wow, you can't bet against this guy." But here they are. Chad Henne. It's time for you to step up. No Tyreek Hill. Go get this win. Go get it at home. But I gotta go with the Chargers. This one. They've had a season. They were our team to watch. They were Sean's team to watch this offseason. And with some injuries, the injury bug hit them real bad. And some late wins, it didn't work out for them in the late games. And I think they go take this one shockingly and make the Chiefs have the 2 losses on the season.
Yeah, I agree with you. Look, no Patrick Mahomes, no Tyreek Hill. You're down arguably your 2 best weapons. I just think that while it could be a fun game to watch, I think Chad Henne will be able to move the ball. It's probably good that he's getting some experience or
Yeah.
some play time before the playoffs come, but it's a very beatable Chiefs team now. I think that Justin Herbert's going to get one more 300-yard game, break the rookie record, get 7.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun. But downfall for the Chargers this week is going to be no Keenan Allen. He's on the COVID list. So look to Hunter Henry, look to Austin Eckler, look to Mike Williams, look to some of these other playmakers to really be the guys this upcoming week. Because as we've seen throughout all the entire season, Keenan Allen gets 20 looks a game from Herbert. So it needs to be someone else. But I do think that they're going to surprise, get a win against the Chiefs, give them that second loss. I do agree with you.
Yeah, like we were talking about with the Giants in the last episode. There are some wins here late in the game where you're trying to make the playoffs, trying to get morale. And this is a big morale booster for this Chargers team. They can come back in 2021 and really just go full power on this. But the Chiefs, it's looking like the playoffs are going to run through them.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. No team. Sadly, the closest team for a while was the Steelers, but then we saw they drop 3 straight. Everything's going through Kansas City this year. It's gonna be tough in the AFC. Should be a lot of fun. I'm excited for the playoffs to get started. But moving on, Green Bay Packers take on the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Injury news for the Packers: starting left tackle, all-pro player, Pro Bowl player, David Bakhtiari did tear his ACL in Thursday's practice. He's going to be out for the rest of the playoffs. Potential to miss some time at the beginning of next season too, with this injury coming so late in the game. That's his guy. That's Rodgers' left
Yeah.
tackle. That's his blindside protector. One of the best tackles, if not the best tackle in the league. This is a big hit for the Packers right before their playoff run.
Yeah, 100%. And Bakhtiari, he is one of the best pass protectors of the last decade, and it's not an easy thing. We've talked about defending against this Bears defense. Khalil Mack's going to be lined up on that left side against that backup defensive left tackle all day. And Aaron
Yep.
Rodgers, we've talked about, is playing like MVP. And Devontae Adams, God, I hope that they have a great secondary plan for them in Chicago this week because Sean has even said before, and I will agree. The fact is Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, look at these stats. These are Offensive Player of the Year and MVP stats. You still
Yeah,
believe
I'm
that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that Rodgers is the for sure MVP this season. I think just looking at what Adams
100%.
has kind of been able to do this year, I mean, he leads the league in total receiving yards per game at 102.2. He's leading the league in receiving touchdowns with 17. He's had last week was his fourth 120 plus yard and 2 touchdown plus game this year. He's had 7 100 plus yard games. He's on a tear. I don't see how like he couldn't be considered offensive player of the year with what's going on. And it doesn't surprise me that of course it's happening at the same season that Aaron Rodgers is producing an MVP caliber type season. Like it's crazy. And I think that that's what's really going to carry them against the Bears. Look, if they lose this game and the Saints win or the Seahawks win, they lose that first seed. It's no longer going through Lambeau. This is all on them. And I think that even though they don't have David Bakhtiari, I think that Khalil Mack could be an absolute menace and really annoy Aaron Rodgers' day.
Yeah.
Rodgers knows what's on the line. He's never had a first round bye in his playoff career. This is a guy who's been fighting to make it past the NFC Championship game. I just think that this is the year that he gets that first round bye. It's all going to go through Lambeau. And there's potential for him to make it to the Super Bowl with the season he's having.
Yeah, I think the Super Bowl is on the horizon for the Packers if they win this game, if they can get through this interdivisional matchup. Just great football all season. Showed that last year, even though we thought they could be a fluke team, that they are really out here. We're both. I mean, I'm going to take Chicago in this one though. I think that Mr. Trubisky understands that this is the last chance for him. There's no fifth-year option. There's no guaranteed money for this guy. Matt Nagy is holding for his job. Do you think Matt Nagy is going to have a job on Monday if they don't make the playoffs? I think it's a really tough call after all of these seasons where he's been so close. It could be time for a change of scenery. I think that they go and get this. I think that their defense needs to step up. This Bears defense, I have been waiting for them to have some revenge from that double doink couple of years ago. Go get it. This NFC is tight. You can go win it, get in, and you're in.
Yep, that's all it takes. And if the Cardinals even lose and they lose, they're in. So
Yeah.
they got some opportunities here for the Bears, but it's going to be a fun one. I think that Aaron Rodgers is playing too well and he needs that first seed. Moving on, New Orleans Saints taking on the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. Now, this is an interesting game. We
Yeah.
saw how well Alvin Kamara did last week. 6 touchdowns against my Vikings on Christmas Day. He was just placed on the COVID list. He is COVID positive. And on top of that, the Saints will not be without Kamara this week. They won't be without any of their starting running backs. That means no Latavius Murray also. So they're looking to Taysom Hill. They're looking at Ty Montgomery, and they're looking to potentially a practice squad rookie player and Tony James Jr. This is a little bit worrisome, I think, if you're the Saints. With Kamara getting the COVID on the COVID list, getting COVID positive on Friday, that just barely puts him possibly in the window to play in the first week of the playoffs. I mean, Saints could be without their star player for 2 weeks, one of them being a postseason game. I'm worried right now if I'm the Saints fan.
100%. And you mentioned right before about the impact of that Packers Bears game. And if the Bears do win, the Packers lose. If the Saints win this game,
Saints
they can
need to
get
win.
that first seed. They are going to need that week of rest with their guys out this week. As you mentioned, Kamara, 6 touchdowns. Also against him last week. Started to start the trend of Jack losing championships. But it's not anybody's fault, but Kamara did. Kamara decided 6 touchdowns. What a performance. Absolutely incredible. Sorry I had to go against my boy Sean's, Vikings on defense. You had to ruin his holiday like that. But hey, Kamara, you went off, and without you, I think it's a really tough thing. However, without Michael Thomas there, I would count this team out if they didn't have Drew Brees. I think Drew Brees wants one game right now where he just needs to get the playbook down. This is an easy win. I think for me, in my eyes, it's an interdivisional matchup. People, this Panthers team is familiar with him, but I think that New Orleans goes and gets the win this week. Emmanuel Sanders is a big game. Jared Cook as well.
I'm going to defer from you. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going against the team that he played with last season.
Good
I think
yeah.
that DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, I think these guys can get it done with the offensive weapons that they have. I'm really worried with Alvin Kamara and what this running back is going to, what this running attack is going to look like this weekend. And honestly, Drew Brees is fantastic, but the Vikings game was not pretty.
Yeah.
But every time he dropped back to pass the ball, I felt way more comfortable because he just didn't seem to be throwing the way that he once did. So I'm worried right now. I don't know if he has enough in him, and I don't know if he has enough left in the tank. He's also coming back from 11 broken ribs, so that could have been, that was his first game back from that. That could have just been one of those things where it's really sore. So I could be totally wrong on that one, but I think this is a game where the Panthers are going to surprise. It's a chance for them to potentially ruin a team's hope of that first seed. I think they're going to get done. I think that Teddy Bridgewater is going to beat the team that helped him out so well last year. But moving on,
5-0 with that team.
Yeah, 5-0, did great with that team. He even beat the Bears in Chicago. A few big victories, and he beat the Seahawks last year. It will be a fun game, I think.
Absolutely.
Moving on, we got the Tennessee Titans facing the Houston Texans. Titans got embarrassed last week against Packers, like really embarrassed. So what you got first in this one?
Dang, I hope they, when people always say you got to keep that energy, I hope that they don't do that this week, because they need to bring completely new energy this week against this beatable Houston Texans team. Deshaun Watson, as well as he's played this year, Tannehill has played fantastic. Derrick Henry on the ground right now, 118.5 a game on the ground. Best in the league. I think that they go and run this one. We saw it last year, starting week 17. You get into these guys in the playoffs, they're going to run it in. I'm going to go with Tennessee in this one. We talked about how the Colts have to win, their game. I think this is another beatable matchup in the AFC South for the Titans.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Look, Deshaun Watson's having a great season. He's been playing really, really well, but this is not going to be his week. I think the Titans coming back with the vengeance after the loss last week to the Packers, and earlier this season, Derrick Henry faced the Texans and 22 carries, 212 yards. He's going to have another great running day. He didn't run the ball very well against Packers, able to shut him down, but this is a very, very beatable Texans team. I think both this offense and defense can handle. But moving on, Seattle Seahawks facing the 49ers. Now, last year, these teams also played in week 17, and it was to win the title for the NFC West. This year's a little bit different, but can the Seahawks overcome what they couldn't last year? What you got for us, Jack?
Yeah, 100%. I think that they can. I think they're a totally different team. First off, Niners are a totally different team this year. We've been talking all year how we've been waiting for key important players on the 49ers to come back from these injuries, and we have not gotten that yet. We were also waiting for Russell Wilson to slow down after he struggled between weeks 5 and 8, and he has not struggled. He has been coming out. I mean, the Giants game, people were saying, even me, I was saying he led throughout November the league in turnovers, but here he is. He's ready for the playoffs. And playoff Russell Wilson with DK Metcalf, with Chris Carson coming back, able to take 20 carries a game, we're going to have to deal with the Seattle team. The problem I have is I kind of like this Ayuk and Samuel speedster matchup for the Niners against the Seahawks. I'm going to take the Seahawks in this, but it's going to be very interesting to see if the Niners, with their beat-up offense, can use their two speedy receivers to actually go and get this win.
Dude, the sad part about the 49ers this week, they're going to be without both Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. Even Kendrick Bourne to be their wide receiver one.
Number one.
Yep, and it's going to be left up to George Kittle, who's back. I just think that with all the injuries to this team right now, there's also going to be no first-round rookie Javon Kinlaw. There's also going to be no Richard Sherman. I think the injury bug for this team has continued, sadly, all the way to week 17. CJ Beathard got a really big win last week against the Cardinals, but I think that the Seahawks are just going to be a little bit too much. And like I just mentioned, last year the Seahawks going to get done. They literally lost it on the goal line when the 49ers
Oh
are able to
yeah.
stop them literally right on the goal line in the final seconds. I think that this won't happen this year. I think the Seahawks are gonna kind of fly past them this week. I think they're gonna get the win, take the West for sure. Get ready for the playoffs.
And with those West teams facing off, we got two more facing off in the next game. Two teams that we've been pretty hype about: the Rams, the Cardinals. The Cardinals, though, we've mentioned it's either they're full Game of Thrones right now. It's either they win or they die.
Yeah, both these teams, win or die. This is literally the moment. And what sucks is that if you're the Rams, you have no Jared Goff, you have no Cooper Kupp, you have no Donald Henderson, and you're gonna be without Michael Brockers. Some of your star players, if not your star players, are out this week. The game that you need them the most are not going to be in. We're looking to John Wolford to be the starter, a Wake Forest product. Look, the Cardinals, their only injury right now is Christian Kirk. He's on the COVID list. I just don't see how the Rams, can Aaron Donald and Ramsey do enough to stop Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins? Is that what you're thinking? Because I don't know if it's enough. I just don't know if it is.
I don't know, man. This Rams defense is just going off this year. I mean, we talked about in the beginning of the year, we're like Jalen Ramsey finally got his contract, blah, blah, blah. Here he is. Oh my God, just absolutely shutting people out. And the Rams defense is third best in scoring right now. You know, they're the best pass defense, and it shows why they're paying that guy that much. But even with the backup, I think I'm gonna have to go with the weird upset here. I'm just thinking about it. Even with the Rams stars out, the Rams understand that McVay is there. I think McVay versus Kingsbury is never going to be more evident right now. And I think Hopkins versus Ramsey is going to be the best matchup of the weekend, but I will take the Rams in this one.
All right, I'll defer from you. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. I think that Kyler Murray and this team started off the season super hot. Then they really, really began to slow down. I think that they need this win. I think that Murray wants this win. I think that Hopkins wants to be in the playoffs. He had an okay game. It was 8-2 the first time they saw these and a touchdown the first time they saw them. I think this is going to be their week. I think Kenny and Drake is going to kind of get going. I think that Murray's going to have a solid game. Look to the tight end Dan Arnold. Look to DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe Andy Isabel is going to slip in there for a touchdown as well. But I think that the Cardinals are going to take advantage of all these injuries, and the defense will be able to step up. I think they're going to make the backup quarterback uncomfortable. This is what sucks when you have Jared Goff breaking his finger in week 16. And look, either one of these teams lose, they're out. They're out of the playoffs. That's what we're in, and this is fun. This is but I think it's gonna be the Cardinals. Moving on, another AFC West showdown, similar to the Chargers Chiefs. Got the Raiders take on the Broncos. No playoff implications for these teams. More just, I think, respect. I feel like both these teams want to end their season on the win.
We're respected.
I got a question for you. If Drew Lock loses this game or Derek Carr loses this game, is this going to be the last time we see them suit up for their respective teams? I know Luck is only 2 years in.
I honestly think this is the last time that we see Derek Carr in a Raiders uniform. I know
win or lose or loss only.
I think if they lose, it's over. I think this is a winnable Broncos team. I want to pick the Broncos in this. I think that they're just a scrappy, sloppy team that gets this win here on week 17. But with that, I think comes implications of the fact that Carr maybe needs to change the scenery. I think that they've been building weapons around a guy who definitely needs to change the scenery. I think that this Raiders team with their move to Vegas, they look like they can do it. They look like Gruden's the guy. I just don't know if Carr's the guy. I know Drew Lock's not the guy, but like you said, he's gonna have to take another year before they even give him the hard discipline. But I think the tough thing here is I think both these quarterbacks need to win this game for the sake of their jobs right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I just think, Locke, I think he's been playing way too inconsistent. And I think that Carr at times has been a little bit inconsistent. It's not what this team needs. I thought just a couple of weeks ago they were going to be the team to make to the playoffs. It seems like every single week. Darren Waller is having a great season, but they can never seem to translate that into some sort of win, no matter how much he's doing. It's like the third or fourth straight year that they've had a tight end be the leading receiver for this team. It was Jared Cook a few years ago, then it's been Waller. And that's just not okay. They need to find that true wide receiver one. Tyrell Williams, hopefully when he's back from injury next season, will be that guy. Help Henry Ruggs out a little bit more. Nelson Aguilar has been the deep threat. He looks like a guy who can be there for quite some time. But I think I'm going to take the Raiders in this one. I think it's a very beatable Broncos team. The Raiders need this win. There's going to be no KJ Hamler for the Broncos, which means that Drew Lock is going to be out, one of his favorite targets. I think that these guys can get the win here for the Raiders. Carr wants to try to keep his job. Gruden needs to end it on a high note.
Oh yeah,
they're going to get the win over the Broncos. Get the win over your division rival.
100%. And division rivals, we got our last game of our division rivals here. I think you should start this one off. I need a moment.
Well, Sunday Night Football is here. The Washington football team, the leading NFC East
I can't believe this.
is going to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Eagles are not in the playoff contention. Mm-hmm. But if Washington wins, they've won the East, they're in the playoffs. If Washington loses and the Giants or Cowboys win, the Giants could be in the playoffs or the Cowboys could be in the playoffs, which is crazy.
We're hoping the Giants are in the playoffs.
We're definitely hoping that personally, Giants, Washington, then Cowboys would be the three of how they go for me. But what you got for us in this one? Who do you think is going to win this one?
Oh man, I love Washington this year. It's crazy. I say it all the time. Like, they have built a defensive core there of guys that wait 3 years, you're going to know the name of everybody on this defense. It is special. What's not so special right now is these Philly receivers against the number one consistent passing defense all year in Washington. This Chase Young, John Allen led defensive line. Alex Smith is questionable, but I don't care who's playing quarterback. This is one of those defenses that disrupts quarterbacks, especially a guy like Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz. Probably going to be Jalen Hurts starting this weekend. Scrambling quarterback. I don't like it against this Washington team. I'm going to go with Washington.
All right, I'm going to defer from you. I think it's going to be the Philly. I think they're going to get a surprise win. Alex Smith looks like he's going to be starting, which is huge. He should win comeback player of the year. If Washington does win, Ron Rivera, coach of the year. I feel like those are two solidified awards I can definitely go with this team, especially if this team makes it to the playoffs. However, I think the Eagles are going to get the win. Look, the Eagles are going to be out a lot of guys. It's going to be no Fletcher Cox. It's going to be no Miles Sanders. It's going to be no Dallas Goedert. It's going to be no Derek Barnett. It's going to be no Richard Rodgers. No Duke Riley. No Jalen Mills. These guys are all on the COVID list. However, I think this team has rallied around Jalen Hurts. I feel like they really, really like what it is that Jalen Hurts brings to the table. They seem to be playing a lot better when Wentz is not the quarterback of this team. Yeah. I think that they're going to surprise. I think that they're looking to ruin a team's playoffs hope. And what a better way to do it than beating your division rival at home. It just doesn't get sweeter than that. So I'm going to trust Philly. I think that the rookie Jalen Hurts is going to have a great game, and I think that he's going to get a huge upset win, which means if the Giants win like we predicted, the Giants would be in the playoffs.
and then we out here.
But will the Giants do after? I don't know. But I'm going to go with the Eagles in this one. I think it's going to be a fun one. Honestly, I'm really happy that the NFL decided to move this to the 8:20 slot. I thought that was a brilliant move on their part. It doesn't really get any better than this. Look, if Alex Smith are back in and Antonio Gibson are back in, this game immediately becomes way more fun. One thing I just want to mention, the Washington football team did release Dwayne Haskins this week. He is no longer part of the franchise. He was subject to waivers this past week. If Alex Smith, for whatever reason, has any injuries setback prior to Sunday's matchup, it will be Taylor Heineken again coming in at quarterback, who played fairly well when he had to at the leave of Dwayne Haskins last week. So should be a good game.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with Dwayne Haskins this offseason. I've seen a lot of analysts say that, things like, oh, he's going to get signed. The irresponsibility of him just going out in general is tough. We're going to see what happens. But, he's only a year and a half in. I hope the best for that guy.
Yeah, got to wish him the best. But look, week 17, a lot of playoff implications. Better make sure to constantly everyone checking in, check the scores, find out who's winning.
Heck yeah.
Packers number one, could be the Saints at number one. Washington could win the East. Giants could win the East. It's going to be a great day of football. We hope you enjoy this episode. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Heck yeah. Everyone always remember, check us out, justsayingfootball.com. Check us out, Just Saying Football on YouTube. So subscribe, tell your friends. Coming at you all off season. We got playoff stuff coming up the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Get ready. Enjoy your fantasy matchups week 17. Tell your commissioner that's supposed to be set to week 16. And enjoy us on Instagram. Just saying no GWJS. Check us out for all your video updates, articles. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.